Should you get a gimbal? Is it even necessary? Hey guys, so this is going to be the very last video I'll do about the Zhiyun crane, frankly because I just want to move on and create new content for my channel and for you guys. I've had this gimbal for about a month now, so I've got some decent experience, enough to give you my final thoughts, the pros and cons, who I think it's for, and my final thoughts. Oh man, I need some coffee. All right, here we go. So the pros of this gimbal. Overall, I loved using the gimbal. It's a fantastic piece of filming accessory. And the best thing about this gimbal is that it made camera movements so easy to achieve. Like I can get walking shots really easy. I can get low angle shots really easy. Overall, it's just fantastic to use. There is a learning curve because I did come from a glide cam background, but once you know the mechanics of how a gimbal works and how the modes operate, then like any other tool, you should be able to use it just like that. Another thing I love about this gimbal is that it's small and then it's light, and that makes it perfect for travel and even to store away. The Zhiyun crane comes with a hard case and a foam cutout so that each part can be placed into the slots easy, and so I feel totally fine knowing that I can toss that case around. I don't recommend it, although I feel tempted to try. Okay, moving on to the cons. The number one con about this gimbal is that it's so frustrating trying to swap out lenses while the camera is still on the gimbal. I mean, if you're at a wedding and you go from a zoom lens to a wide angle lens and you try to swap lenses and you're trying to recalibrate it and balance it, but all of a sudden you miss like that special moment, it's just not good. It's cumbersome, and you try to balance it, it flops around if you don't have some sort of tripod to keep it steady as you're balancing it. It's just a mess. I don't know how you fix that unless you use a lens that has a fly-by-wire system, meaning that the zoom is internal. If you don't have that, then it just makes it super difficult to swap out lenses. I also don't like the limited weight capacity of the gimbal. The Zhiyun crane can hold up to cameras at up to 3.9 pounds. You're kind of limited to just using mirrorless cameras, which is why I think the Sony a6500 is perfect for this gimbal. Same thing with the a7S II or a7R II. Those kind of cameras are great, but if you want to use a heavier camera, then it might be a little more difficult to have the balance right without the gimbal motors struggling really hard to get the shot that you want. The price. When I got it, I bought it for about $650 US, which might seem fair considering the kind of quality that you get using the gimbal, but that's still pretty pricey, and I'd much rather use that money on a lens. It could be cheaper. I think a fair price would be $500, but that's not up to me. Plus, I got a family. I got babies to feed. Come on. And the last thing I don't like about this gimbal, or any other gimbal for that matter, is that it has this weird vertical bounce when you walk. I think the reason is because it doesn't have a fourth axis that counteracts the bounce or absorbs it, and it just looks artificial. It just looks fake. Yeah, it looks smooth overall, but if you look at the edges and the corners, it just looks, disgusting. Maybe not disgusting, that's too harsh. I'm sorry Zhiyun crane, I'm sorry. It's just nasty. The only way to solve that is to use Warp Stabilizer in Premiere Pro or some similar program so that you can smooth out those vertical bounces. It's not a big deal, it can be fixed, it just looks artificial. So who do I think it's for? Anybody can use it really in any situation, but I think it'll work best for wedding filmmakers and travel filmmakers, just because you can get super smooth shots in a pinch and you can just run and be in any situation and get some really awesome footage, especially if you don't have to swap out lenses. So if you're one of those filmmakers, then I highly recommend getting the Zhiyun crane. And so my final thoughts. Should you get this gimbal? Yes, but you don't have to. Just because a gimbal can smooth out shots doesn't mean all your shots have to be smooth. I mean, there's something cool about handheld shots, there's something cool about glide cam shots, there's something cool about slider shots. The cool thing about filmmaking is that there's a wide array of different shots and compositions that help tell a story and help forward a story. You don't have to have a gimbal in every shot. Not everything has to be super smooth. In fact, you should mix up your frames and compositions and not just rely on a single tool. And that's what it is. It's just a tool. It's a film accessory. So I'm not going to be filming all my shots using a gimbal. I certainly will for a lot of things, but not for everything. I personally love handheld footage. I just like the shakiness, you know, having the freedom to go up, down, left, right, zoom in, zoom out. I love that. But I love having this gimbal as part of my arsenal. So if you've got cash to spend, then go ahead. get this gimbal. It's fantastic, you'll love it. But if you're just starting out and you just bought your first camera, then I don't think getting a gimbal is a wise investment. I would probably use that money and get other lenses. You want to diversify your focal lengths as a filmmaker. And so if you got the cash, great. If you don't, then use that money to get some lenses. All right, guys, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you love this video, then I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and also subscribe. I've got some sweet content coming pretty soon, so I'm pretty excited about that. But let me ask you, what kind of stuff should I cover? Storytelling tips, filmmaking techniques, what kind of gear would you like me to review? Either way, let me know in the comments below. I'd appreciate that. But I'm gonna need some coffee because I am waning. And I don't care about leaving the camera here. Someone can steal it, whatever. I'll get another one, I don't know. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. Peace.